What's going on, guys? This is Travis here, and today I'm bringing you Week 8, my team analysis for the PPL. So we're nearing crunch time, end of the season. If you don't know what the PPL is, be sure to check out all the links in the description. It's basically a draft-style Pokemon League, which I'm obviously a part of in Division 2. This week we are playing against PaullyMac and the Philadelphia Flygons. Again, links will be in the description. Be sure to go check his channel out. He's only just started as a YouTuber, but he's got some really creative content out there. He did a really good Pokemon rap as well, so you should check that out. If you look at the the standings there, I'm 4-3, he's 0-7. He's currently bottom of the league, hasn't won a game. Does that mean I'm going to go, easy win, not take it seriously? No, not in the slightest, because there are a couple of reasons actually. First of all, he took over a team from Layson MC, so he wasn't originally supposed to be the coach of this team. He did help Layson draft and stuff like that, so he had some input, but it wasn't his team. And I can tell you that playing with a team that you didn't select personally can make it so much more difficult. He has done quite a few transfers to help mitigate that, I guess. Just gonna make sure you can't hear Skype. So he made quite a few transfers to get the things that he wanted, but it's still, the core of it is a team that he didn't draft. He is still doing quite well with it. Other reasons why I'm not going to be taking it easy: he's had a fantastic team matchup against me. I've played him before in a no pause 20s match, which I believe was the first video uploaded on my channel, and I 5-0'd him there, and he's out for revenge, because even though I 5-0'd him, it was actually a really good close battle. It was just, I wore everything down, he had nothing for Bishop. But yeah, that's how these things go. So I'm actually really worried that he will kind of destroy me. He has a couple of ways to do that, and I will get into that, but first of all, let's just look at how we're going for the season. So despite a really unfortunate loss last week, we're still actually sitting in 4th, because a couple of the other people around us also lost. But you'll also see that from 3rd to 9th has a total of 1 game separating them. So if Jordina's Southampton Sneasels win a game by a big differential, and anyone from the top lose a game by a big differential, the entire league just, it's ridiculous. We also have no Mons in the top 10 anymore, because, most of them just died last week. I'm not really looking to get him on in the top 10, because I would rather just get in the top 3 and move up to Div 1. But it'd be nice to see Darmanitan or someone up there. Obviously, Kurum, who we traded off, is currently destroying it for Kelly, so yeah, even though 5 of those kills are mine. So, on to the Philadelphia Flygons team. So I've put Coach PaullyMac / Layson MC. It's a bit unsure whether Layson's going to come back at all this season. He's been really busy with IRL stuff and all that. So I don't know if he's going to try and make a comeback or not. But looking at Paul / Layson, the Philadelphia team, he had Landorus Therian. I almost read that as Landorus I for a second, and that would have been spooky. Hydreigon, Thunderous Incarnate, Vaporeon, Arcanine, Forretress, Aromatisse, Kangaskhan, and Braviary. So, the trades he's made, he didn't used to have Landorus, he didn't used to have Forretress, he didn't used to have Aromatisse. Everything else I think was originally drafted. And he picked up Aromatisse just last week, I believe, and that is huge. Before he had Aromatisse, back when I had Kurum, my plan was to bring Specs Kurum against him and just drop Dracos, because he had no switch-ins to a Specs Draco. Unfortunately, now he does. I reckon it could have gone Scarfed as well to outspeed Hydreigon and stuff like that, but basically Kurum destroyed his team until he got Aromatisse. And people are like, oh, but it gets Flash Cannon, it gets Iron Head. Aromatisse is too fat for a coverage move, basically. It's really hard to break down. Other problems are Landorus. He can kinda just wreck my team. I'm still very weak to Quake Edge, and it does also get U-Turn for Selby, which is my main thing that takes on Quake Edge. I also have no switch-ins to Hydreigon, flat out. And yeah, he's got a very fat wall core, which is going to be difficult to break down. But he basically has to bring Braviary or let me just leave rocks up all game. I almost considered bringing T-Spikes again, but He has Landorus, Hydreigon, Thundurus, Forretress, and Braviary, which don't actually care about them. At the start of the season, his team was very weak to T-Spikes, but not so much anymore. So, onto the team that I'm bringing. I said I'm not bringing T-Spikes, but I'm bringing the Focus Sash Nidoqueen. Now you might be thinking, why not a Sash lead with multiple hazards? Because basically, if Landorus sets up a Rock Polish or a Swords Dance, or both, if I mess up and let it set up twice, I need a Sashmon. I need a Sashmon that can OHKO. Enter Nidoqueen, basically. With mixed attacks, lonely nature. It's also good so I can take a hit from something like Hydreigon if I need to and do massive damage with Superpower. Poison Jab is fantastic for Aromatisse. Sludge Wave would do more if it was physically defensive. Basically, whether I went Sludge Wave or Poison Jab depended on whether he went physically defensive or specially defensive. And one thing I've noticed is that Carmine Aromatisse could actually be a problem. So I decided to try and hit it on the physical side as much as possible, because even if he's physically defensive, Poison Jab does a very, very good amount. Not enough to stop him from Wish Protect stalling me, but if he's just going for Wish Protect, Wish Protect, Wish Protect again and again and getting like a tiny little bit more HP, that doesn't really bother me because he's wasting his wishes. Earth Power is to hit the Arcanine and I put enough speed so if he brings bulky Arcanine I will outspeed it. Superpower does more damage to Hydreigon than a non-life orb Ice Beam, even with Sheer Force. Like that's a neutral attack, so that's basically what that's there for. I didn't bother bringing fire coverage, you may notice, because Earth Power, even if you bring like Spidef, Forretress, Earth Power still does a good amount. And if you bring Forretress, then I completely shut it down with Sableye. Like, completely. Gyro Ball does literally like 2%. He can't Toxic it, he can't set up hazards, he can't spin. I see no reason for him to be bringing Forretress. If he does, it's a relief, because it means there's something else, one of those other huge threats. Like, he could bring Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan actually does a huge number to my team. Hope he doesn't notice that. But basically, if he brings Forretress, that's good for me, because there is something else he can't be bringing. And I couldn't prep for everything on his team, honestly. It's very, very hard for me to prep for it. Next mon I'm bringing is the aforementioned Mega Sableye. The Icy Wind Sableye makes its comeback. I'm just going to check the other dimensions are fine. Because he has a Landorus. I'm kind of predicting him to bring Lumberry Landorus, so I can, he can bait the... What a lot of people seem to be doing with Sableye is bring a setup super with Lumberry. They can go, oh, I'll set up, and they'll burn me, and I'll pop my Lumberry and kill it anyway. So if you try to set up a Swords Dance, I will take an Adamant Earthquake from a not Life Orb +2 Landorus, basically. If it's not any boosting item, I can take any 2 hits. If it gets to +2, I can take any 1 hit. If it sets up a Rock Polish, I can just keep spamming Icy Wind, which actually 2 it KOs, which is stupid, to keep lowering its speed and doing big damage. I have Dazzling Gleam for Hydreigon and enough special defense to live a Life Orb Draco, because I don't see him bringing Choice. If he brings Specs, then he locks himself into Draco, then I can just get a free switch into Togekiss, which actually does a good amount to his team. And then it says Foul Play there. I did have Foul Play on originally. I decided to go with Knockoff, because some things are a little bit different. I changed the team lately because I would rather be able to knock off things like Aromatisse's leftovers, which will probably switch into this, Vaporeon's leftovers, Arcanine's leftovers, or Rocky Helmet, whatever it decides to be rocking. Basically, knockoff is useful for me to break down his War Core. It also means if he does decide to bring Forretress, I can knock off its leftovers and then it gets worn down really, really easily. And also knocking off the Assault Vests off things, because I kind of need those gone. Next mon I'm bringing is Cobalion. Max attack, 180 speed is with Jolly is enough to outspeed everything on his team that isn't Scarfed or Thundurus. I have nothing that can outspeed Thundurus, which is just unfortunate. And then Close Combat, Toxic, Iron Head, Stealth Rock. Close Combat is so I can basically spam it against Hydreigon. It still does good damage to other things, even though I'm not like Life Orb. Toxic is mainly for Arcanine or Vaporeon switchings. He's not going to be switching into Aromatisse on this, I don't think. But I can get a Toxic off. If it's Vaporeon, I can force it to go for Heal Bell, which gives me a free switch into something else. If I can Toxic the Arcanine, I can wear it down a lot. And if it's Rocky Helmet, I won't be taking Rocky Helmet. Sorry. Recoil. then Stealth Rock, just because his team, the most reliable hazard removal is Braviary, and Stealth Rocks really wear down his team, and I'm going to rely on that. Ironhead also 2 KOs, even fully physically defensive aromatis, but if he has his leftovers and he has Wish Protect, I won't actually be able to take him out, because I'll be doing about 55%, then he goes for Wish, gets his leftovers back up to 50%, goes for Protect, gets back to full. That'll happen a lot. So, but if I can flinch him once, then Cobalion just beats him, just kills aromatis. So that's nice. Next mon is Goodra, Come Dragon the Goodra, with the Choice Scarf and Gooey. Gooey is basically there because I had no reason to bring Hydration. I don't think he's bringing Rain. I'm not bringing Rain. Doesn't do anything for me. I had no reason to bring Sap Sipper because the only grass coverage he would be running is maybe Grass Knot on Thunderous for Lantern, and that's about it. And I'm not going to be, like, I could switch on Thunderous, but if he goes physical, then I kind of die. So, and I kind of see that happening. I see him bringing a physical coverage move on at least Thunderous and Hydreigon, just to hit this thing. So Gooey, in case he does hit something with on the physical side and I don't take it out or whatever, I can lower its speed for something else. Speed control is nice, basically. I then have Max Attack with Lonely Nature, so uninvested in Special Attack, enough speed to outspeed everything that is in the Scarfer, and then the rest in HP because I can still tank hits because it's a Goodra. Draco Oko's, whatchamacallit, the thing, Hydreigon. Draco Oko's Hydreigon, Ice Beam, Oko's Landorus. And Iron Tail and Power Whip do good damage. I've gone Max Attack because I need more damage on Aromatisse and Vaporeon, and the two other moves, the two special moves I'm running for coverage, still Oko the things I need them to Oko. Draco can still do good damage to other things on his team if they switch in. I guess I could have gone fully special, but these were the moves and the calcs that gave me the best damage output against most of his team. I'm hoping, basically, that he's not expecting Scarf Goodra. I'm potentially going to lead off with it, because he may just lead with Hydreigon and put me on the back foot straight away. And then I can outspeed Draco, Oko. It's lovely. Next one I'm bringing is another Scarfer, and I screwed up the graphics. Anyway, another Scarfer, which is Togekiss. This is a very, very weird spread. Again, same amount of speed, so I can outspeed anything that's scarfed. Then Modest, because just maximum damage output, and then the rest in HP, so I can still take hits from things like Aromatisse or Vaporeon. Then Dazzling Gleam and Air Slash. Hopefully it hits freaking Air Slash this time, because I've been doing lots of target practice, and maybe hopefully I can actually flinch something to death for once. Then Trick and Wish. This is my best way of breaking through his War Core. If I can trick something like Aromatisse, trick it a Scarf, it's still outsped by everything on my team bar Sableye, because it's just that slow. And then Wish is there to bluff that I'm not Scarfed, so I won't be fearing that. So like I bring it in on Hydreigon, for example. He goes, ooh, this might be Scarfed, switches out. I go for Wish, because I know he's going to switch out, there's nothing I can do. And then switching to something else, he might think I'm not Scarfed, then next time he'll stay in, Dazzling Gleam, Oko, etc. It's basically there to bluff. It's also nice just for recovery on everything else that I have that doesn't actually get recovery, like my Cobalion. You'll also notice I'm bringing a very offensive team. That's because I have trouble breaking through his core, and even if I bring like everything fully bulky, he can just destroy it. So I decided to go offensive, just put the pressure on, try not to let it up. Last one I'm bringing is Agility Life Orb Lantern, making a comeback. Hopefully I can get it to work this time. Not going to try and Baton Pass into it. I've got Volt Absorb. I don't know if I want Volt Absorb or Water Absorb, honestly, because Volt Absorb is nice for Thunderous, but Water Absorb is nice for Vaporeon, but then again Vaporeon's not really doing damage to me anyway. I don't know. Timid, because I need Timid to outspeed potentially Scarfed Hydreigon, which, you know, he could bring. Then that's it, +2 by the way. Then Surf, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. Basically does good damage to everything except Aromatisse. And AV Kangaskhan. If he brings Assault-based Kangaskhan, I'll need to wear that down, but that's much more easily worn down. If he brings Aromatisse, which I'm definitely thinking he will, and I'll need to Toxic it, I'll need to get some prior damage on it, I'll need to Trick it a Scarf. Once I've worn it down to about half, I'm happy setting up with this thing, because then I can kill it in 2 hits, and he can't really do much to me. He can do a good chunk, but I'll hopefully just be sweeping in late game with this thing. Or even just mid game, just get a lot of damage on stuff. It can't OHKO like anything on his team, but it can do around 60% minimum to everything. So, except aromatics, basically. So hopefully that's how that works out. Surf, because I don't really need score burns by the time I'm trying to sweep, and Surf, I think Surf was the difference between not a chance to OHKO and a chance to OHKO on like max HP Arcanine, I believe. There was some calc like that where it was made a small difference. Anyway, battle will be going up on Wednesday the 4th of November, hopefully. That's actually when we're battling. That's actually when I'm recording this as well. So yeah, hopefully I can get all that edited in time. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you in my next upload.